Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's episode of the Fumbling Gurus, where we will be talking about what happens around the NFL. Let me introduce you to your hosts, the one, the true, the G-Man,
Going on?
the Beard Master, Sick Stomach,
Hey everyone, welcome.
and myself, Finn from Finsational Gaming. Well, guys, this is our first episode, and I think there's no better way than to introduce ourselves. G-Man, go ahead and can you give yourself a little introduction and tell me why you got interested in the NFL?
Um, I'm G-Man. I just started watching NFL around 2014, and I used to be a Chargers fan. And then, well, it's only because my buddy was a Chargers fan. That's how I got into the NFL. And then I just kind of watched a bunch of teams, and a lot of the Duck players that I liked started going to the Eagles with the coach Chip Kelly, which was a complete disaster, as we know. Um, but other than that, I've been an Eagles fan ever since.
Gotcha. And it's Mr. Sick Stomach there. Give yourself a little bit about you.
Yeah, I mean, I've always been a Buccaneers fan, which was a little unfortunate growing up. We weren't that great in the '90s or so, but we did get the Super Bowl in '08, and that was a lot of fun. See, I mean, we just grew up always watching the games and being in the Tampa Bay area. We always got together, neighborhood watches and stuff like that. So um, yeah, I mean, I've always been into it, and glad we're kind of getting this going as well to talk more about the other teams and not just the ones that we always pay attention to.
Yeah, that's awesome. I grew up around sports. Between baseball, football, I've always been around it. I grew up, thanks to Dan Marino, if you guys can't tell, a bit of a Dolphins fan. Um, Dan Marino was my idol. I love that guy. Greatest quarterback to ever step on a football field, in my opinion. Love numbers, love watching fantasy football, and really just grew up. I mean, I watch football religiously on Sundays every chance I can. So I was when you brought mentioned this to us, I really liked the idea, and I said let's definitely run with it. You mentioned that you were a Bucks fan. I don't know if you know this or not. Something happened yesterday. Is the first game of the NFL season.
No, I
Tell
didn't.
me what.
I didn't catch it. What happened, Vin?
No? Okay. Well, I was going to ask you. Can you give me a little bit of a recap, kind of what you saw, what happened, and what your thoughts and takeaways of the game was?
I feel watching the game yesterday. I feel like we were toying with Dallas like the whole time, and we still ended up having no problem in the end, knocking it out. But I think both teams played really well. I mean, it was a great game. Honestly, I don't think you could ask for a better season opener than what we had. But yeah, the Buccaneers still pulled it out. Tom Brady's still killing it at what is he, like 44 now or something? I mean, it's Brady, Gronk, and Antonio Brown. All of them are like over 40 and beating up everyone in the NFL right now.
No question about that. G-Man, you as the Eagles fan, you hate the Dallas Cowboys. I know you watched the game. What was your takeaways?
Honestly, Dallas looked great, unfortunately. But you just can't beat Tampa Bay. You just can't do it. They left Brady with a minute 40 on the clock. And for some reason they thought that, oh, they can't do it. Brady did it.
It was still too much, man. We had time that we didn't even use on the clock.
Yeah, he basically didn't he tell the offensive coordinator no and do his own play? Did you
I
hear
don't
that?
know.
Did you see that too? He looked over at the sideline and said no like three times and then just did his own stuff.
Is that run the clock out? I know that when I was watching the game, I was very interested to see how Dallas was going to handle the Bucks defensive line, especially missing their all-pro left guard. And I thought the Dallas's play calling was just ridiculous. Very creative. I loved all the swing passes, the short stuff, the extension of the run game, and everything. But I was very surprised at how poor the Bucks defensive line. I mean, not that they played poorly; they shut the run down. but no pressure on Dak. I mean, I think with between the 60 something dropback passes, that one sack, um, that was kind of interesting to me. I don't know what your guys' thoughts on that was.
Yeah. I mean, I think for me, like the one of the things I took away too is it seemed Dallas came very well prepared with like a game plan to beat the Bucks, and then I felt the Bucks didn't even really like they just played their game and they still won. So it's kind of interesting to me that like Dallas came in, it seemed like fully prepared, like you were saying. They had very distinct play calling for motion, for getting in the Bucks' face, for exploiting some of the weaknesses. And then the Bucks, to me, just kind of were just out there playing their game. I felt the running backs didn't carry their weight, but other than that, I don't. Other than that, there was no weakness that really I saw in the Bucks.
Their secondary was definitely picked apart on the
Mm-hmm.
perimeter, and they got to shore that tackling up. But yeah, I mean they didn't let Dallas have any really big plays, and that certainly helped keeping the game close. Although I thought the Bucks were going to run away with it
Yeah. Well, I
before the
mean,
game started.
if you look at Dak Prescott, he was amazing, and to have someone of that caliber play the way he did, and then he was over 400 yards, and they still lost the game. It's just amazing to me.
You want to actually talk about historical win? One team, the Bucks are the only team I believe to have 100 plus yards in penalties, lost the turnover battle with three to like -3 in the turnover ratio, and there's one other thing, and still lose the game. I mean, still win the game.
Mm-hmm.
That just doesn't happen. Of
Wow.
course, the call, or should I say the no call at the end of the game there had a whole lot of people talking about the NFL referee situation.
No,
Yeah.
I'm ignoring that.
You got to admit, though, the officiating was kind of rough in that game.
It was, but for both teams. That
Yeah.
what about that
Mm-hmm.
face mask pass interference call that counted for 28 yards of penalties that wasn't even a face mask
It wasn't even
for
close.
Dallas?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like every year we have the same conversation that like the referees just needed time to get into the game, in-game mode, game speed, things like that. Because I think a lot of the calls were like the face mask call, the pass interference at the end there. That's just game speed they're not used to, and they, when they're looking at it, like, oh yeah, it's definitely a foul, but they'll, it's the first game of the season. I think it's to be expected.
That's, you're probably not far off on that.
Yeah. Well, after last year's Super Bowl, they got to step up their game a little bit, right?
Well, let's Thursday's game, an exciting finish, an exciting way to kick off the NFL season. I don't think you could ask for a better game for week one, first game of the season. Down to the wire, the kicker redemption, the come from behind win, hitting the field goal, just all of it on general. But we also now have a bunch of games happening Sunday. And I know that we've discussed this. We're going to pick 3 games a week. And so the way it's just to explain to everybody, we are going to do a lock of the week. That would be the team that we know for sure they're going to win. The upset of the week, a team that's not favored to win, and then our favorite team, which Sick doesn't get to be a part of this week since the Bucks played yesterday. So, Sick, since you've kind of started off, you already don't have to pick your favorite team. Who's your upset of the? All right, let's start with your lock of the week. What pick? What game is your lock of the week?
Man, when I was originally thinking about it, I was just gonna pick the Chiefs because they'll probably beat whoever they're playing, right? But they're playing, I believe, the Browns this week. So, man, I don't know. I'm trying to think the Browns are gonna have something to say this year. Um, so instead, this week I'm gonna go with the Seahawks at the Colts. I think the Seahawks they're looking good this year, so that's kind of my pick. It's a little out of left field for me because I normally, um, you know, I'll stick to maybe some of the teams I know a little better. But yeah, I'm excited to watch that game. I think it'll be a good game, but I think the Seahawks will pull through.
You think they're gonna? I mean, with the point spread, they're the 2.5 point favorites to win that game.
Oh, sorry,
I
that was
believe.
my lock for the week. My upset.
Yeah, no. Yeah, that's your
Yeah.
lock of the week. But I believe they're
Mm,
still 2.5 point favorites to win against the Colts.
yeah. Yeah, like I said, I think it'll be a close game, but I honestly, I think it'll be like the Bucks and Dallas, where it's like everyone, everyone came in thinking Bucks were gonna win. It was a close game, but they still ended up with the W. I think this would be the same thing in that game. Um, and yeah, looking at my like who's gonna upset this week. One game that kind of stuck out to me is the Bills and the Steelers. I think a lot of people are writing off the Steelers this year, at least some of the things that I've heard. Um, so I'm kind of picking the Steelers maybe to give it to the Bills this week. I think the Bills will have a good year, but I'll be interested to see if they come out strong or they take a little while to ramp up.
I certainly can't argue that. G-Man, what tell me your lock of the week.
My lock of the week is the 49ers versus the trash Lions. I mean, it's just the Lions, they can't really get anything going any season they're in. Like 49ers, they're ramping up. And so I have the 49ers winning that,
It's
hands down.
interesting. I know I've seen that a lot of people seem to have the 49ers possibly winning their division this year. And, Detroit is definitely not expected to be very good. So I can certainly understand. And your upset of the week.
My upset of the week is the Jets. Yeah, I think the Jets are gonna win that game. I have a weird feeling. I might be totally wrong, but I think the Jets are gonna win that game.
Who are the Jets playing this week?
God, the Panthers,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, the Panthers. Yep.
That's right.
And
Yeah,
they're
I think the Panthers are. I don't know. I have this weird feeling about them this year that they're. I mean, I guess the last couple of years they've kind of done that where they come out kind of strong and then they just fizzle out by the end of the year.
Well, last year, Christian McCaffrey gets hurt early in the season,
Mm-hmm.
crushes people's fantasy seasons. I'd hate to be anybody who drafted him.
I
And
mean,
then go ahead with the Eagles pick. Who are they playing, and what's the point
Falcons.
spread, and who do you have?
I got -3 for the Eagles. I think that's what I got, and I think that I don't know, Falcons, Julio Jones Falcons. I don't think they're going to do good against the Eagles. But the thing is the Eagles got to stay healthy. They got to stay healthy because last year was just a total disaster. Carson Wentz didn't know who he was throwing to half the time. So I think that if they stay healthy in this game, we got them.
And what's the biggest matchup in that game that you would want to look out for, watch? Kind of who do you think? What do you think the Eagles can take advantage of the Falcons, or what do you have to worry about with the Falcons?
Uh, Definitely their defense is probably something to look out for. I think that who do they got? Who's their QB? Matt Ryan, right?
Yeah, Matt Ryan's the quarterback
Yeah,
of the Falcons.
Matt Ryan. He was decent last year, so I mean, but he's getting older and you know, age catches up with you eventually, unless you're Tom Brady.
Well, they also drafted that kid Kyle Pitts, and Kyle Pitts,
That's
that dude
right.
is an absolute monster. It's like 6'4". I don't know. He's basically a lot of comparisons to Calvin Johnson, just not quite running a 4.3. I think he ran a 4.4, 4.5, something like that.
wow.
Matchup nightmare. But he's a rookie, and tight ends typically struggle. Are you concerned at all about the rookie tight end?
Yeah, that's probably something we should watch out for too. But I'm pretty sure we got an answer for him. I don't know how you don't, right? He-
I certainly would think you game
Cal
plan.
Kyle Pitts, yeah, just get that guy.
I will say, kind of turning over to me, my lock of the week. I looked at this and thought it was very tough, but how do you not bet against opening day Green Bay Packers going in? I know they're going to New Orleans, but they're not even going into New Orleans. They're going to Jacksonville with Hurricane Ida knocking out the city of New Orleans.
Mm.
They're playing, I believe it's in Jacksonville, and Aaron Rodgers has a chip on his shoulder. They're negative. They're the favorites by 4, and I can't blame them. I mean, the Saints are starting Jameis Winston, as we know here in Tampa very well. Winston loves to throw his interceptions. They don't have Michael Thomas. They've had to lose because of the cap situation. They've lost some key starters. I just I just don't know how you bet against the Packers. It's funny enough that you mentioned the Seahawks because my upset was actually the Indianapolis Colts taking it to Seattle. Your Seattle is traveling to Indianapolis, home. They've got that great running game. Jonathan Taylor set up for a monster year. Okay, Carson Wentz, I get it. I get it. But I think that they have enough, especially that defense. It was so nasty last year. Um, I gotta go. I gotta go Colts over Seahawks. I straight up, I would do it, especially at a 2.5 point favorite or underdog. And then the Dolphins. This is maybe the most interesting matchup for me, not just because it's the Dolphins versus New England Patriots, but it's Tua versus Mac Jones, the Alabama quarterback versus Alabama quarterback,
Mm.
rookie quarterback going up against Brian Flores. That turnover machine defense of Miami, the way they pressure immobile, especially young quarterbacks like Jared Goff, Justin Herbert, and just how they destroy those types of quarterbacks. And I know Belichick's a genius. Belichick may be the greatest coach, but it's going to be tough. But I do certainly think Miami has a real good shot to win that. And I have Miami winning that game. Um, I think by 6, to be honest with you. They're 3 point underdogs, but I think they'll win by 6 or more.
Wow. I mean, I want to go back to your underdog because,
Okay.
I mean, you think they're going to stop? Seattle has everything on offense. Do you think their defense can answer all of that?
Seattle has everything except one kind of small piece to that offense, an offensive line. I'm pretty sure that you could start as the left tackle for this team.
I don't know, man. You can't even get to
I,
their quarterback goal. He just runs away. He won't even. It won't even matter. He doesn't even need an
w-
offensive line.
Wilson is magical, no question about that. But you're going to Indianapolis, playing in front of a home crowd, and that's the other part of this that I think people are forgetting. These players haven't played in front of crowds in 18 months.
Yeah,
I think home crowds are going to impact teams more than they've impacted them in years past.
I should definitely be
And I just
true.
think, yeah, I
Mm.
just think that with that running game, Seattle's defense is not what it once was. The no offensive line, I really think Seattle's going to have a tough time.
I don't believe in Carson Wentz whatsoever. I don't. I don't.
Shocker.
And hey, I mean, he was my QB. Is it gonna be 2018 Carson Wentz, 17 Carson Wentz? No, it's not. They got rid of him for a reason.
But
So
he's also going back to the offensive coordinator that made him successful in Philadelphia. And can he
well,
get the best out of him?
we will see. I don't believe it.
So, well, we want. I just kind of want to recap the season, kind of what we expect this year. And one of the things is the divisions. We've got you got a pretty some pretty close divisions as you mentioned with the Browns there. So sick. I'd kind of like to see who do you have in the AFC winning each division there. We can start with the AFC East if you'd like.
Man, you're always making me go first. I feel like you're just setting me up here. Um, all right, I'll start with the AFC East. I mean, I was trying to talk about them earlier. I think the Bills really. Sorry about your Dolphins, but I just don't think they stand a chance against the Bills. Um, so yeah, that's kind of my first pick there. Do you guys want to go through the East, or you want me to just keep going through the different divisions here?
We'll go ahead and we'll all do the East together here. G-Man, who do you have winning the AFC East?
I also have the Bills because I don't think any QB really plays on the level of Josh Allen. I mean, you got Tua. Tua, he's okay, but he played a handful of games last season.
Yeah,
So, I mean, can you really say that he's going to be the level of quarterback that you expect?
He's not.
Look,
He,
Like,
he's not proven. He doesn't have a.
yeah,
He doesn't have a track record right now.
Tua is the second oldest quarterback in the AFC East, just starting quarterback in the AFC East. I just want to throw that out there. Josh Allen has struggled his first 2 years in the NFL. He is a 1 year wonder at quarterback. With that said, 100%, it's the Buffalo Bills division. I think the Dolphins are really good, but they have not proven that they can beat Josh Allen. They have not been able to match that defense, match the offense. Buffalo is, in my opinion, the winner of the AFC East as well.
Hmm.
G-Man going to the AFC West.
Finally, not me.
AFC West, Chiefs. I think they're out for blood this year, man. I think they're gonna get it. Like it's a lock for AFC West. I would bet almost anything on it. I just think that they're gonna kill it. And against the Chargers, Razors, and Broncos, I don't think that there's no other pick.
No, no, there's really not.
I mean, I'll have to agree with that. I think Denver is much improved, but there's no abundance on seeding Kansas City this year. I mean, I'll take over the AFC South here. This could become a huge shocker. I've seen a lot of people picking the Titans, but I think you go back to that Colts, that defense, the running game. I love what they have in Michael Pittman. T.Y. Hilton is, I know he's hurt right now, but the guy's still a legit player. I've got the Colts winning that division. I think Tennessee Titans have too much struggles, especially in their secondary.
Yeah, yeah. This one's a
Uh,
tough one for me. Like I want the Jaguars to do well, and I feel like they're almost there, but they're not. I don't think they can really pull it off. So I think to me, it's not necessarily the Colts winning the division. It's kind of theirs by default almost.
you don't think the Titans can?
I don't really. So the Texans, I think, are still rebuilding. Um, Jaguars just aren't quite there yet. Titans potentially, but they seem to always like trip over their own feet when they're playing. Um, so I
They won
mean,
the division last year.
yeah, but in a roundabout way. I mean, again, what their quarterback got hurt, I believe, through the season. Jaguars couldn't figure out who their quarterback was. Texans just didn't even have a team. So, I mean, who is going to compete with them in that division?
All right, G-Man.
I think you guys are crazy. I think you guys are crazy for thinking the Colts can win that division. I think the Titans are going to win it because with the addition of Julio Jones on their already stacked roster, I you can't go wrong, right?
Their
In
offense is
theory,
good, no, but
in
I just
theory,
don't trust that defense.
I yeah, time will tell. Time will tell. But I
So
think with the weapons that they got, I think they're winning the AFC South.
I can certainly understand it was between those two. G-Man, I'll go back to you here on the AFC North. To me, this is the toughest division to choose. I think there are three legit contenders for this. Who do you have winning the AFC North?
Hey, I got the Cleveland Browns. I got the Cleveland Browns by like that much. I don't believe Big Ben is gonna do anything this year. I just don't. I think the Cleveland Browns have a really good defense, and I think that's what's gonna win them the AFC North.
Sick, I'm going to throw that right back to you. Who do you have?
Man, if you would have asked me a week ago, I would have said the Ravens. Um, but now I have no idea. I mean, I still think the Ravens are going to be good. I think it's hard to count them out. So I think that would probably be my pick. I think the Browns. I'm just scared to pick the Browns. I do think they're going to be good, but I think there's a lot of questions that are not answered there. Their quarterback still has to kind of prove himself. Um, their running backs have been, in my opinion, at least wishy-washy. Last couple seasons, and they have kind of that committee running back going on. So I would still pick the Ravens. I think that's my lock at least. But I think there is potential for a couple upsets there because there are some good teams in the division.
I absolutely do not trust Big Ben. I think
Mm-hmm.
he's old. His arm looked shot to me last year. I thought that he was probably going to retire. He ended up not retiring, coming back for one more year. I kind of knocked them down. I have actually them finishing third in the division, and it was kind of a toss-up between Cleveland and Baltimore.
Mm-hmm.
I look, Lamar Jackson, an elite player. He MVP 2 years ago, I think. Was it 2 years ago? 3 years ago? Whatever. He was an MVP candidate. Guy's an elite player, but they've had some injuries to the running backs. The corner got hurt, and at the end of the day, I don't know if I can trust Lamar Jackson to carry a team. He can certainly be a piece, but can he carry a team, especially with that style of offense? I think I went with Cleveland as well. I think Nick Chubb's an elite runner. Their defense is stacked. Their quarterback is good enough. Odell Beckham, I've been waiting for him to break out in Cleveland, and I think this is the year. I've been saying it for 3 years now, but this is the year I think Cleveland has an elite offense with Odell Beckham, Jarvis Landry, Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt, and as long as their quarterback stays out of the way, I think they're the team to beat. On the
Okay.
NFC side, oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I was just say like Odell Beckham, like I think he's definitely an elite receiver and he's amazing at what he does. I don't. I think part of the problem with me is they don't really have a leader on their team. They don't really have someone that I see as like when I look at the Bucks, right? Like Tom Brady, like you're saying, he's like, no, I'm not making that call. I'm doing this play because I know this play is going to work. I don't see that on Cleveland. That's kind of I guess what I'm missing there to put them in that top spot.
I can certainly see that. They're a younger team. That is for
Mm-hmm.
sure. We are going to save the NFC East for last. And that's because the NFC least deserves to come in last place. So I would like to start with the NFC North.
Mm-hmm.
And I think no better person to lead off that conversation with the NFC North than you, Mr. Six Stomach.
All right. Yeah, I seem to be the default for this. Man, this division was hard for me. I think there's a lot of potential here. Lions with the new quarterback coming in, I think it could be interesting. That would be like my interesting pick. Like if I wanted to go with a out of the park pick, I'd definitely pick them. I think they have the potential. I think the safe bet is the Packers. But I think the Bears and the like all of them have potential. Honestly, you could pick pretty much any of them. Um, but I feel like it cannot not pick the Packers. I've always been like kind of a fan of the team. Almost, you know, I picked them as like my second team that I kind of follow and watch and everything. So yeah, I'd pick them to be the winners this year.
Hey, man.
I also have to go with you with the Packers. I mean, Aaron Rodgers, the last year's MVP. I just don't. I don't. I think he's gonna put that other foot forward and show everybody what he's made of this year. And I mean, the Bears, they were pretty decent last year. The Vikings pretty decent last year, but I don't think I get the Lions fourth, so I don't think they're gonna do anything this year. But Green Bay, you, that's a safe pick, like you said. You got to put them on top.
I have to side with G-Man on this. I don't see anything coming out of Detroit. Jared Goff with McVay, Sean McVay couldn't do anything. I don't see how he's going to do much in Detroit. Um,
All right,
I,
we'll see at
I,
the end of the season, man. We'll
we will.
we'll we'll go back and rewatch this, and
I might eat my words. I might eat my words. I mean, have you ever seen anything from the Lions in the last
Look,
couple
all I'm
seasons?
going to say is I will not bet against the greatest quarterback wearing the number 12 ever. I just won't do it. And of course, I'm talking about Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers. He is, again, revenge tour. The dude's gonna light up the league this year. He was the MVP last year, and I would not be shocked at all to see him do it again. He is mad. He wants to prove it. I'm not gonna bet against him.
I'll let that comment slide for now. We'll come back to that.
The NFC West, G-Man, who do you got?
Uh see, everybody's picking the 49ers, but I kind of think the Rams. Surprise, the Rams, right? I, we're just gonna have to see how that pans out. I just don't see the Seahawks doing anything. I don't see the Cardinals getting anywhere. And I don't see the 49ers. I think I'm not on that bandwagon train yet. So we're just gonna have to see. But I think the Rams been pretty consistent over the years. So
The Rams are, I've seen them picked as the Super Bowl contenders. They're very good. They just picked up Matthew Stafford from Detroit. Stafford, look, there's he's all over the place, right? Some people view him not elite, others view him elite, just stuck on a bad team. We're gonna find out this year. I can't bet against Russell Wilson and that Seattle team. I know I'm picking Indianapolis to win, but I think as the season goes on, I think Seattle, they win the division every year for a reason. They're the team to beat. I do not believe in San Francisco at all. They're old. They're they got a lot of good players, but they're injury prone, and I think it would take a miracle for them to make it out of that division, even as a wild card. I have them finishing fourth. I really think they could very well be picking in the top 10. Sick. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm with G-Man on the 49ers. I'm not sold quite yet on them. Cardinals is an interesting pick for me too, because with Kyler Murray and the just like pure athleticism of the Cardinals, I think is very high, but I don't think they're quite there as a team. Um, the Rams, man, I really want to pick the Rams. I do think they're going to be really good this year. And with Stafford over there, I think that's going to be very interesting to watch. And it'll be a fun year to be a fan of that team, I feel like. Um, but yeah, I don't feel like I can pick anyone but the Seahawks. So I think that's going to be my pick for that division as well.
Now, I'm gonna have you pick last on this sick. G-Man, NFC South. Who do you have winning the division?
I can't. Finn, close your eyes. Close your eyes. Because I got the Bucks winning that division. I got the Bucks winning that division. I mean, I Saints with Drew Brees out. I just in how Brady played yesterday, the Bucks team played as a whole. I don't see them not winning the division.
There's no
So
competition. Yeah.
yeah, I got
Yeah,
Saints at a cool number two, but
I mean, you don't see like the wonderful the Atlanta Falcons. I mean, not blowing a 20-3 lead there and taking it. I'm with you 100%. Tampa by default. Carolina and New Orleans will be battling for second. I don't trust New Orleans without Michael Thomas. With Jameis Winston, I like Winston, and I like him under Peyton. I would love to see them win the division because I think it'd be such a slap in the face to these Tampa Bay fans, and I'm here for it, but I just don't see it. So
Mm.
Tampa winning the NFC South. Sick, I'm assuming. What are your
I
thoughts?
I mean, yeah, of course. I don't think there's much competition there, but I want to see it close. I want to see a battle for it. I mean, I think that would be interesting, and um, but yeah, I don't see anyone really competing with the Buccaneers this year.
So now
something.
we go to the NFC least, the NFC East, where there has not been a repeat champion of the NFC East for like 10 years or something ridiculous like that. Sick. Tell me your thoughts. Who do you have?
Uh, I mean, I'm kind of cheating on this one because we have a little bit of input on one of the teams.
We do.
So, man, the way they played yesterday, I think the one thing I was kind of missing yesterday from the Cowboys was Ezekiel Elliott. I feel he was kind of missing from that game, especially with his capabilities. Um, I think Washington's interesting. I think they have a couple of components they put together this offseason that could bring some competition, but I don't think they hold up to the Cowboys. Um, Eagles, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if there's a whole lot I can say there. No, I'm
Where'd
just
you put them? Where'd you put them? If you had to rank them out of the
okay.
division.
So this division, I think Cowboys one, in my opinion. Eagles two, and then Giants Washington's like a flip flop for me. I don't know which
I'll,
one's going to
Okay.
kind of take that third. I think they're going to fight for that third and fourth spot.
I'm going to be honest with you. I mean, I just I actually thought about changing my pick. Watching Dallas, the way Dak played, that team stays healthy. This is a legit playoff contender. And they can go out. I mean, you saw what they did at Tampa. Tampa is a legit Super Bowl contender for a reason. They brought back everybody. Dallas stays healthy. I mean, they're going to get their all-pro left guard back. Now they just got news that their left tackle, Lael Collins, is suspended 5 games for missing a drug test. So, how does that impact going forward for 5 weeks? I don't know. But look, Ryan Fitzmagic and the Washington football team, the WTFs, I 100% think that they are the first team to go back-to-back NFC East champions in a while. Um, they're loaded on defense. They're gonna have a fun quarterback. They've got legit talent up and down that roster. They're the team to beat. And the Eagles, just so you know, G-Man, I do not have them finishing first nor second, but I have them ahead of the Giants by a little bit. The Philadelphia Eagles finished third in the division, like 6-11.
Okay. Okay. So I'm assuming you pick Washington because Fitzmagic. You have a little place in your heart for him.
Not at all.
Not at all. Well, I know that I'm gonna kick myself for saying this, but I don't want this. Don't clip this, but I think the Cowboys probably have it. I think the Cowboys probably have it. I want to believe in Philly, but I haven't seen anything from them. New coach, new defensive coordinator, Jalen Hurts, new QB, Devontae Smith. I think he's going to kill it this year, but enough to win the NFC East, time will tell. And I watched that game the Cowboys did against Tampa Bay, and I think they're going to kill it. Unfortunately.
Yeah, since you're the last one to talk on this, I want to go ahead and we talk about divisions. Who do you have emerging in the Super Bowl right now? Week 1, since we know all the information. Who do you got?
I got Chiefs and Packers. Repeat of Super Bowl 1, if I'm not mistaken.
Who do you have winning?
I got the Chiefs winning.
So that you have them back to back to back in the Super Bowls.
3 straight Super Bowls.
That's I don't know, man. That's got to put a strain on you. I feel like they have to have an off season at some point. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe they are that good.
Well, sick. If you're doubting Kansas City, who do you have in the Super Bowl and winning the Super Bowl?
Man, I mean, I can't not pick the Buccaneers. I feel like they are still the team to beat, especially with what they showcased last night. I mean, I think we had 3 or 4 turnovers and still, came out with the W, and bad turnovers too. Like they were not where you wanted to turn it over, not when you wanted to turn it over. So I think if we can clean up some of those parts, which is much easier than building some of those parts, right? So I think if we clean that up, we're still a team to beat. So in the NFC, I still have to pick us. But man, the AFC, I'm not sure who. I mean, I really want the Bills to, like, I think, like you were saying, I want Josh Allen to come out and prove that he is who everyone thinks he is. So I'd really like to see them. Chiefs, of course, are always a contender. Man, I feel like I want to go against G-Man here. That's the only reason I'm changing my pick, because it probably would have been the Chiefs Buccaneers. But that would have been a repeat of last year as well. And I feel like you have to mix it up a little bit. So I'm going to put the Bills in there. So the Bills and the Buccaneers are going to be my pick. I think it'll be a close game. But I think, like, if I had to put a spread on it, I think the Buccaneers win by 6.
Okay. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. If the Bills make the Super Bowl, and that's a huge if, nothing would make me smile more than them to lose the game on a missed field goal. repeat of their four-peat. They're the only team ever to be four Super Bowls in a row and to lose every one of them. And I would love for that to happen again. Um, yeah, I'm not. I can't root for any team in the AFC East. I thought about this because I don't like my picks because it's boring. It's just boring. I have Kansas City versus the Green Bay Packers with Green Bay winning.
Yeah.
I I I can't bet against Aaron Rodgers in his comeback tour, his stick it to Green Bay, and I don't see a team competing with Kansas City. I just don't. They rebuilt their offensive line. That was their weakness last year. If you
Mhm.
remember in the Super Bowl, four of their five starting linemen were out due to injuries or COVID. The rookie right guard, I think it is, opted out of last year. They've rebuilt that team. They've got they traded for the Ravens left tackle. They get their guard back. They drafted the center. I mean, they've completely redid that offensive line. They are the team to beat. Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes, they're just too good. So that's what I have. G-Man, what are you most excited for this year? Oh, I guess
Uh,
actually I missed. I kind of hold on. Let's back up. I'm looking at something. I got to get your Eagles record before we get to this. So give me your Eagles record. Talk to me a little bit about the Eagles season, and then tell me what you're looking forward to for this season.
all right. I It's
And even,
probably too high. But as an Eagles fan, I want to say they're going to go 11-6. I don't laugh. I know. I know. Listen to me. Listen to me for a second, okay? If Jalen Hurts is who I think Jalen Hurts can be, it's going to be a good season.
Wait, what was their
It's
record last year? What was
well,
I can't remember.
yeah, I don't want to talk about it. I
you
don't want to
picked
talk
Dallas
about
to
it.
win the division, and you had the Eagles at 11-6. Are
I
the
said they're
are the Cowboys going 12-5?
I think so. I think they're gonna edge out the Eagles. They're gonna edge out the Eagles. But I'm just saying, man. Don't crush my dreams. Don't crush my dreams. But
Over
we'll
pick I've ever heard one.
time. Hey, time will tell. If I even get close, I'll be happy.
So what are you looking forward to this year?
Devontae Smith. I think he's gonna do really good. I'm excited to see what he can do with Jalen Hurts. Um, they got on rock paper scissors with Sirianni, and now they're ready.
They're kind of interested to see how Jalen Hurts and Smith kind of work together this year.
Oh, for
I, I,
sure. Yeah.
that will be interesting. I love Devontae Smith coming out as a prospect. He was my number one wide receiver.
Yeah.
Um, so we'll see how that plays out for sure. Uh, Sick. What are you looking forward to the season, and what do you think, and how do you think the Bucks are going to do this year?
Yeah, I think what'll be interesting to me is taking a look at the wide receivers. I mean, we've had them for a couple of years, but we brought on Antonio Brown a little bit towards the end of last year. So I think we basically honestly we have three wide receiver ones on the team: Godwin, Mike Evans, and Antonio Brown. At least the way Antonio Brown played last night. Um, so I think that'll be what I'm kind of looking forward to, and what I want to kind of watch game to game is who does Brady tend to pick out? Does are their egos going to get involved with people not getting catches, not getting targets, things like that? Um, I think if the running backs keep doing what they're doing, though, we may not have a problem with targets. um, from what last year, I'm looking up what we. So yeah, we were 11-5 last year. Taking a look at I feel like we're at least going to be 11-5 again this year. But honestly, I'd bump it up to 13-3. I think that's really going
Keep
to
in mind it's
be
a 17 game season this year.
okay. So 13-4 then. I say 13 wins is what we're going to get to. So yeah, I honestly want to say it's going to be tough to beat us regardless. I think it'd be interesting to see Brady went with a one-loss season with a team nowhere near what the Bucks are this year. So if we can keep everyone healthy, it's going to be a heck of a year. But that'd be my minimum, 13 wins.
So I mean, looking at G-Man's pick there, the Eagles at 11-6. I, I don't know where he's getting that number from. Um, the Bucks, 13 wins is going to be tough, but they certainly have the division to kind of get five, maybe even six wins in that division, which is certainly going to help. And as long as they can stay healthy, I do question their ability to stay healthy this year. Last year, they were super healthy most of the year, except that wide receiver core.
Hmm.
And I wonder how that's going to translate. If they lose some key pieces on defense, or their offensive line, how are they able to respond? I looked at the Dolphins schedule. I did. I looked at it. I did wins, losses. I mean, I've got a piece of paper. You guys probably can't even see it, but I went through it, and originally I had the Dolphins at 12-5, and I said, "There's no way. There's no way they're gonna lose some silly game." So I went back and I looked at it and looked at it and looked at it, and with both losses to Buffalo, I still have them 11-6. I don't see this team being worse than 10-6 as they were last year. And I think
Hmm.
I think they go 11-6 this year and compete for that wild card spot. If they can win, I mean, I've got them losing to the Bills. I actually have them beating Tampa, and it's because I think there's a letdown game after they play New England in week 4. They then go to Miami, and I do wonder how that's going or home. They play Miami, but I wonder how that's going to work with all of that adrenaline and stuff. But
Hmm.
if they can win some of those tough matchups, I this Dolphins team can be as good as any team in the league, but their inexperience and the young team I think is going to hold them back. But I can see them definitely going 11-6 and possibly 12-5. It should be a lot of fun. I am most excited for one Tua's development. This is a kid
Hmm.
who had all the talent in the world in Alabama. He was the number 5 overall pick, would have been the number 1 overall pick if it wasn't for that hip injury. If this kid can stay healthy, play the way he can play, I mean this could be a really fun guy to watch play in the years to come. I, I'm also really excited to see how Trevor Lawrence does in Jacksonville and to see, what how these rookies do. I mean, Trey Lance over in San Francisco, Justin Fields in Chicago, Mac Jones in New England. I mean, if you listen to the NFL gurus, the experts, I mean, they've got this dude already in the Hall of Fame, Mac Jones.
Hmm.
So I'm interested to see kind of how that plays out this year.
Yeah,
Um,
I think
Go ahead.
Jacksonville is definitely my team to watch. I think they have like you're saying with the new quarterback. He has a little bit of experience. He's coming in kind of sophomore year, um, and I think
Trevor
too.
Lawrence is a rookie this year.
Oh no, I'm mixing him up. Who was the guy last year?
Their quarterback last year,
Yeah,
Gardner Minshew.
yeah, that's who I was thinking of.
He's now over in Philadelphia backing up Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, yeah, no. But I think with him coming in and the wide receiver core from last year with DJ Chark and Chenault coming in, and they got I don't know. There's a lot of weapons there, and I'd like to see what they can do with it. I don't think they'll be a great team, but I think it'll be an interesting team.
Urban Meyer coming from college to pro is going to be a transition too. That's the one thing I'm kind of interested. Just can he make that leap? A lot of college coaches don't. So, well, I have a couple just quick questions for you guys, just kind of reactions. TJ Watt signed a contract with the Pittsburgh Steelers, 4 years, $80 million guaranteed, over $112 million contract, highest paid defensive player in NFL history. It's good to be a Watt brother, number one, and two. What's your thoughts on that? I mean, the dude's a monster, for sure.
Yeah, I mean they both are right. But I've
I mean,
always what was that?
JJ Watt was. I mean, he's long in the tooth nowadays.
Yeah. And I mean, he, at least every time you glanced over, he was injured or rehabbing something. So, I mean, I think that's awesome. I think TJ's proven it. I think, like, the last couple of years, he's been insane. So, I'm really not surprised. I'm kind of surprised at the overall I guess, number. But I think we've been seeing things higher and higher every year, so it's not a huge surprise to me.
Pittsburgh doesn't typically guarantee money past year one. That's kind of their MO. So
Mm-hmm.
they guaranteed 80 million over the first 3 years of the contract. That's kind of record breaking for Pittsburgh. And Minka Fitzpatrick very well might be next on that. G-Man, what are your thoughts on the contract?
I think that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. Uh, yeah, no, it really beefens him up a bit, and I mean, if they think he's worth it, great.
Mean, he was kind of holding out, so they had to pay him, or else they were not going to have their star
That's
defensive
pro
end.
that's
Mm-hmm.
probably not a guy you want to lose either. So
No. So Cam Newton, he did an interview with his dad. He got, Mac Jones was the starting quarterback of New England Patriots. Newton gets cut. In his interview, he said that it was not because of him not being vaccinated. It wasn't because he had to miss the 5 days of practice. It was because that his pedigree, his aura is the word he used. He would have been a distraction, especially if Mac Jones didn't come out lighting the league on fire. Kind of what are your thoughts about Newton not being a backup, but also being cut, and what he had to say? We'll start with G-Man.
I think that he obviously is lying. It was because of he didn't follow COVID protocol, and it's the second time he's done this, and there's big hefty fines associated with that. And so I think that's why they cut him. He's just saving face. That's all he's doing, in my opinion.
Sick, your thoughts?
Yeah, Um, I saw. I think it was when he first got cut that they said that his status of vaccination wasn't a reason. So I'm not necessarily surprised by him saying anything about that, but I don't know. I think it was a little bit of his ego, maybe stating that like he doesn't want to have that aura of him being a backup to cause problems for other people. So I don't know. I'm not. I think I'm not buying it. I guess I think there's something else there, and he's just trying to explain it away as best he can for the time being. I mean, like you were talking about, Belichick doesn't make, in my opinion, mistakes. Right? He does everything with a purpose, everything for a reason. So there's something going on there.
I mean, what I heard, it makes a lot of sense to me. I know Tua and Fitzpatrick, you had a little bit of a locker room divided.
Mm-hmm.
Players want to see the best player in, and when Tua struggled, there were players that questioned it. Russell Wilson, for instance, one of the big divides in Seattle was they didn't want to run the ball, and the defense kind of got mad that the game kind of went through Russell Wilson, and that it was almost like the coach was babying Russell Wilson. So I
Mm-hmm.
can certainly see where you bench, like by putting Newton as the backup, some of these veteran players would sit there and go, but this rookie may not come out lighting the league on fire. Newton's a like the dude was a Super Bowl quarterback. He was an MVP at 1 year time. The dude's a good player, and to not have him on the team as a backup. But then again, look, I'm not saying he was an NFL caliber quarterback, but Tim Tebow, if he were to be on a team and that quarterback struggled, the pressure gets put on that team to not start him, right? I can certainly see where having Newton on the team would create a distraction. So the next question, and this will kind of be the last question I have for you guys before we end things. The four rookie quarterbacks get drafted in the first round this year. You had Trevor Lawrence, the number one overall pick. You had I didn't even write it down on my notes. It was five. The kid Zach Wilson of the Jets.
Mm-hmm.
Justin Fields goes to the Bears. Trey Lance goes to the 49ers. And of course, Mac Jones goes to New England. What are your which rookie QB do you see having the most success at this year? And how do you kind of feel about the rookie class this year? And we'll start with I don't know who did I start with last time. So I think G-Man. So sick. Go ahead and take off.
Yeah, I'll go first. Man, it's tough for me because it's very few quarterbacks come out and do well. Um, so I really don't have high expectations for any of them. I think they have good talent. I think there's definitely good talent coming into the league. But I would place a bet on only one or two of them actually making it a couple more years and being starters and remaining starters. Um, I think Trevor Lawrence has the talent. Man, I'm not sure he really has the build and the body to be in the NFL though. So that could be interesting to me. I think he's going to kind of his first couple games are going to be fun to watch. I think maybe the most interesting to me is Mac Jones and being in New England. I think anytime you get a chance to work with that kind of coaching staff and that kind of setup, I think they don't take chances. They make sure that you're set up for what you need to be doing. Um, and so I think that'll kind of maybe showcase a little bit of maybe the talent side versus the preparation side, and seeing maybe which of those wins out, which of those is longer lasting. But I think those two are really the ones I'm going to watch for. I really want Trey Lance to do well, um, but I think there's still a toss up there as well of how much he's going to play and things like that. Um, but he's someone I'm watching on fantasy as well, because I think he could, if he ends up starting and playing and doing a lot, he could be pretty big this year.
All right, and G-Man, your thoughts?
I think Trevor Lawrence is the guy to watch this year because that guy, the Jags got nothing done, didn't they? It was 0 wins last season, wasn't it?
I thought they had one or two, but
Yeah.
I think they had one.
1 win. I mean, they
I
could.
don't was their record at one or two. They
I,
didn't
I,
have a
I,
lot.
oh, okay. Well, regardless, he can only ever bring that team up. I don't think he can bring it down any more than they already are. So, uh, my pick would be Trevor Lawrence at that point. I don't really know enough about the rest of those QBs. I know that people were talking about Trevor Lawrence as the prodigy, so we'll see if he pans out.
At Trevor Lawrence, 6'5", 220. Clemson quarterback. Dude lit everything on fire. Guy was the number one consensus pick since he was like a freshman. Um, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how he develops for certain. I think he's the best prospect since Andrew Luck for a reason. Um, Zach Wilson, I think, is the guy that's going to be exciting to watch with the Jets. And I'm kind of concerned in terms of you have a lot of young quarterbacks in the AFC East: Zach Wilson, Mac Jones, Tua, and Josh Allen. And Zach Wilson seems exciting. He seems to have it. We'll see how that plays out. The Jets are the Jets, so we'll see. But I think he's really exciting. Um, Justin Fields, I like, but they're starting Andy Dalton. I don't trust that coaching staff, so I don't think they're going to put him in a position to succeed. Well, guys, episode one, we covered a lot, we talked about a lot. Thank you guys for coming out, hanging out, and I think we'll see you next week here on the Fumbling Gurus podcast. I don't think we fumbled the ball too badly this episode, but we'll have to rewatch the tape at the end of the year and see how we did with our predictions. That's for
Oh
sure.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Looking forward to it.
Absolutely. So you guys can catch us again next week, same day, same time, Fridays, 8:30. See ya.
Yep.
All
Bye,
right.
everyone.